Actually the very first CCS champion overall. And my story, our story hopefully, begins back in the summer of 1965 at the Fremont High School Gymnasium, which was only about 2 or 3 years old at the time. I'm down there playing in a pickup game, a semi-scrawny 6'5" would-be sophomore who had dreams of making the varsity that year. I thought I could make it, but I was not looking forward to all the uncertainty that was going to go on for the next 2 months, waiting for my name to appear on a list someplace. And so as we finished up the game, I looked over to my right, and in walked the new sheriff in town, Phil Kelly, in his first year as varsity basketball coach, the man who held my fate in his hands. And he motioned to me and he asked me to step outside. I remember it well. We were standing by the fence next to the pool. And he looked at me and he said, "Mark, I'm going to put you on the varsity basketball team." Well, you can't imagine how that changed my life. Aside from pushing aside all that anxiety, it elevated me. I walked around campus with a new swagger. Now, this did not translate into actual dates at the time. Phil's not a miracle worker. But it made me a better player. But as we started that first season with Phil, I began to understand, as he turned from salesman to taskmaster, that along with this honor of making the team came responsibility and a set of expectations. And I think that's what defined Phil's program, at least for us, was a new set of expectations. And I was joined very soon after by some other pretty fair basketball players, Bob Dwyer, Mr. Bob Van Hoy, who's here tonight, Mr. Dunning, who went on to set his own expectations at UOP in Stanford, Greg Mobley, and finally Mike Tarabonovic. That was our core 6 fellas on the team. We were beautifully supported by our bench, what we called the Nut Squad, which is represented here tonight by Danny Agusa. Go Nut Squad! Anyway, we all bought into the expectations, and by our senior year, the expectation was that we were going to win CCS, which we did. And it was a great season to look back on. We sort of discovered ourselves at the Sunnyvale tournament that year as we stormed through the competition, beat Buxer when it was still a high school to win the SCVAL tournament, after which everybody got dunked in the pool, including Coach. And we capped it off by beating Santa Cruz in a thrilling game to win the CCS championship. But I think if you ask all the guys on our team what is the most memorable game from that season, I think we will say the Los Altos game, which found us 17 points down at halftime. And we cowered in the locker room expecting a tirade. And Mr. Kelly came in and did one thing. He wrote the word guts on the chalkboard and never said another word. And we ended up winning that game. Thanks to a last-second 22-foot jump shot from Mr. Dwyer. Oh, we partied that night. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, we ended up the season 25-2, which is Phil's best winning percentage. These teams went on to greater glory in Northern California, but we have the highest winning percentage. So we'll hold on to that. So it was a great experience being part of that team. It was a great experience at Fremont overall. Expectations were the norm. If I speak well at all tonight, it's owing to the influence that another coach had on my life, Carmendale Fernandez, who set her expectations in the speech and debate department. So it's great to be back, wandering the metaphorical halls of Fremont, being part of the family. Even to this day, some of my best friends are Fremont High School graduates. My best friend of 50 years is sitting in the crowd, Mark Schiavenza, with his entire Fremont family. My God, I'm the man who married not one but two Fremont High School graduates. Apparently, if you can't sing the fight song, I ain't interested. I keep telling people that in my next life, I'm going to date someone from Cupertino. So, Coach, on behalf of the entire team, what an honor to be part of this well-deserved honor for you. We thank you for your coaching wisdom, and above all, we thank you for your expectations.